Hey guys, what's up? It's Bobby with Gilk Sports Cards. Hope you're having a fantastic day and happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year's coming up. So one of my favorite influencers or YouTube influencers on the sports cards market is Neo Cards and Comics. If you haven't watched his stuff before, check it out. It's one of my favorite channels. He did a video about a topic I've been thinking about and talking about on this channel for a long time, so I thought I would revisit it. And also, Card Collector 2 just interviewed Topps/Fanatics new CEO, and they talked about a lot of the stuff I want to discuss as well. So I thought I would just share my thoughts on in a video regarding are we at a similar position as the 80s and 90s junk wax era for sports cards? And honestly, for me, it's an obvious yes. Like, in 30 years, what players, what cards do you guys think are going to be more valuable at that point than they are today? And I'm sure there'll be a few instances, but it's going to be very minimal. I was thinking about this just a little bit, but just even in the last 5, 6, 7 years, name a player or a card that is more valuable now since their rookie card. And there's very few examples. I mean, baseball, the first two that jump in my head are obviously Shohei. His stuff is kind of obviously leveled up, but he will have obviously some value, down the road. He's arguably going to be one of the best, players of all time. Will his cards in 20, 30 years be as much or higher than what they are now? Probably, but it's not going to be significant, I don't think, just because of the issues we're going to talk about later. And then maybe Aaron Judge, and it's, he's been really good his whole career, but he's been obviously fantastic, the last couple years, and might chase home run titles and all that kind of stuff. But again, same as Shohei. Will his stuff be crazy down the road? I think he's got personality. I think he'll be maybe in broadcast and be visible, kind of like maybe Peyton Manning in football. So I think he's got a chance to be valuable as well down the road. But is it going to be significantly more or about the same or maybe a little bit less? Probably. Football, like Patrick Mahomes. Again, his stuff's kind of flat or a little bit down, but obviously he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks of all time. So, and then 17. I mean, the population, for sports cards, it was a lot, but it's not as crazy as 2022, 23, 24. So there'll be some value definitely on like parallels and stuff. I mean, let's talk about quarterbacks recently. Everyone's going crazy for Jaden Daniels and Caleb, Bo Nix, and Drake May and Penix now, McCarthy, all these guys. I was looking, and I know their product just released, but there's some Jaden Daniels stuff like going for thousands of dollars or $1,000, and it's like, you could buy a Tom Brady PSA 10 like really nice rookie card for around $1,000, yet we have people spending money on Jaden Daniels, who's played 3/4 of a year. It's just funny. And look at the quarterbacks the last few years. Like, we talked about Mahomes. We could talk a little bit about Josh Allen having a great year, obviously. I mean, he's up a little bit, but it's not like crazy. I mean, last year, like CJ Stroud, right, was the big talk. His stuff is down, and he's having a fine year. I mean, it's not like he's doing bad. He's doing fine. I mean, Will Levis, Bryce Young, right? Not good. How about the year before? Remember Brock Purdy craziness? I mean, he's a nice quarterback, but his stuff's significantly down from then. 21's real bad. Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence. I think that was Mac Jones's year. Remember Mac Jones, how crazy? My son pulled I think it was either Rookies and Stars or Absolute. He pulled an autograph out of 25 of Mac Jones, and we were kind of going back and forth if he should keep it or not. And thankfully, I persuaded him to sell it, and I think he sold it for $1,100. And just think about what that card's worth now. I mean, probably 40, 50 bucks. 2020, I mean, Joe Burrow and Herbert are, you know, having a good run here the last few weeks, but they're still way down compared to the, you know, the first couple of years. You know, Jalen Hurts, right? Jordan Love had all that hype. It's just, we go down to, you know, Murray from, you know, Kyler Murray. It's just, there's nobody. Lamar Jackson, like, it just like, it's like all about what's happening right now. So like, for all of you that are going crazy buying Jaden Daniels higher end, you know, cards, and I'm talking about just to like keep in your collection with in your mind that these cards are going to be super valuable down the road, I'm just letting you know you're wrong. Like 99% of the chance, it's, you know, obviously he could end up being, or one of these guys can end up being Tom Brady, or, you know, Patrick Mahomes, but odds are really low. And if you just look at the last 8 years, pretty much every quarterback is down since that first year. Now, if you're buying their cards, you know, to, you know, grade and potentially flip, you know, before the playoffs or while the playoffs happen, that kind of stuff, then go for it. I like respect, get it done. But if you just love Jaden Daniels or one of these quarterbacks, I'm just letting you know, like, I know it's hard, and I've made the same mistake, trust me, we all have, but just not the time to buy him right now, guys. Like, next year, what Jaden Daniels has to do for his cards to continue to go up is not possible, probably. Like, he has to go absolutely crazy. But I mean, the topic of this video is, will cards, you know, are we going through the junk wax era? And I just, it's obviously a little bit different, but it's because of parallels, and it's because of the amounts of sets. Just, there's going to be amazing players that in 20, 30 years that are playing right now that are going to be some of the best players to ever play their game. There's no doubt about that. I'm not arguing the talent of these athletes right now. The issue is it's not just about the parallels, right? Which is ridiculous. There's like sometimes like 21 of ones in each product or something like that. It's absolutely crazy per player. The problem is there's so many sets. You know, there's so many sets. Don Ross Holiday, Don Ross Optic. It's like, and then they get into like international, you know, out of the country stuff and all these different knick-knack little sets, parallels. It's and that's just Don Ross, right? And then there's Prism, and obviously hundreds of sets, it feels like, for every draft class, and the parallels. So the athletes are going to be unbelievable, but the amount of cards that each rookie has, it makes it impossible for down the road for those cards to grow in value, because there's just so many. So unless you are able to get, now obviously if you got a one-on-one, or, you know, a rookie gold, right, refractor, all those, like those super rare kind of stuff, you know, high, you know, autographs, all that kind of stuff, and you know, there's obviously, because they're rare, there's a chance that stuff goes up when the player ends up being ridiculous. But, you know, in my opinion, a Jaden Daniels silver prism, or purple power prism, or pink mosaic, in 20, 30 years, if Jaden Daniels ends up being a Patrick Mahomes level player, I just, because of the amount, I don't think the value is gonna be there. It's just too much. You know, the CEO of Fanatics, you know, they're doing a lot of great things with some real fun things, like the debut patches, and you know, Tom Brady getting in his baseball cards, you know, some cool autographs and all that kind of stuff. And he kind of talked about, you know, the amount of product they're coming out, and the different parallels and how much stuff. And he kind of said that, you know, they're not making a whole lot of the higher end product, like top tier and stuff, but the lower end stuff, they're trying to keep the price down, which means they're kind of, you know, obviously making millions and trillions of, you know, cards for each player and all that kind of stuff to try to lower the price. And I respect that, and they're doing a business and they got to make money. But I mean, I disagree, because it seems like even with, you know, Topps Chrome Update, the price of it, and I understand that they had skins coming out, but the price of it was, you know, 30-40% more than last year. So did they really have to raise that price, you know, to all of us? And I just think the higher end stuff they're talking about is so small that all the major stuff, again, like Topps Chrome and Bowman Draft and all these things that we all want to rip, the prices are so much higher than they were the last couple of years, and there's just so much more of it, you know. So they're making it, what he's saying is not really true, in my opinion. He's right where the higher end stuff, there's not a lot of, you know, inventory or cards per set, but pretty much everything else is way overloaded, and there's just too much. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you guys think, you know, 20, 30 years down the road, that one or two players that end up being, you know, to the top of their sports, will their sports cards be, you know, worth more than they are today? Is it a good investment right now to invest in these players now for the future? So again, if you guys follow the channel, and please subscribe if you don't, you know, my strategy is, you know, I'm going to keep a little bit, because I love modern sports cards, and I'm a Chicago fan, so I want to keep a couple of my players just for fun and just to have it. But my strategy, you know, with my kids, is to open up a lot of product, to buy a lot of singles, and then immediately grade it and immediately sell it. And we're using that money to invest in rare stuff, you know, more vintage, you know. So I want the Brady, you know, Peyton Manning, you know, Joe Montana, right, Walter Payton rookies, and, you know, trying to get stuff, you know, like Mickey Mantles and crazy stuff back then, which in my opinion is going to continue to go up, you know, as the years pass, right? It's not going to go crazy. It's not going to go up 30% in a year, but it's going to be kind of like a real nice stock of a solid company. It's just going to continue to slowly go up every year. So that's our strategy. We love it. The sports hobby is amazing. We love sports cards. We're going to continue to buy and rip. But for me, in my opinion, it's very similar to the junk wax era, because of the amount of product for every rookie that comes out, the amount of parallels that are coming out. And if you are just keeping if you're just buying a ton of modern cards, graded or not grading, just to keep in your collection for years to come, dude, it's cool if you're just a collector. I get it, dude. That's all good. But if you think those stuff's going to be more valuable down the road, it's, you know, hey, a lot of people are a lot smarter than me. I am 100% could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to be good. So that's it for today, guys. Appreciate everybody. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are we in a new, you know, parallel wax era, junk wax era? Do you disagree with me that, you know, again, I'm not talking about 101s and crazy autographs and gold parallels and all that kind of stuff, but the majority of these cards are going to be, you know, worth pennies compared to what they are worth now? Or do you think they're going to continue to go up the next 20 or 30 years? Would love your feedback, and appreciate everybody. Again, happy holidays, happy new year, and we'll see you on a video tomorrow, guys. Peace.